I'm just testing this damn microphone. I've got this wireless lapel mic, as you can see. And so I am, this is an inaugural. I'm trying to evolve or die, basically, or evolve and die. So this is a miracle I found this. And I suspected they might have something like this. Damn it. They had this at the damn Five Below. This is a miracle I found this. And I suspected they might have something like this. I don't think that's on. Damn it. Fuck. Hold on. I might have to turn it off and turn it back on. They had this at the damn Five Below. This is a miracle I found this. And I suspected they might have something like this. I don't think that's on. Damn it. Hold on. It says this accessory is not supported by this iPhone. Let me plug it and unplug it back in and see what happens. I mean, it did work before. I did try it once before, and it did work. Maybe it doesn't work. Is that working now, or is that just the same? I do have this over here. This is my wrestling phone. Ashley was making. It did work before. I did try it once before, and it did work. Maybe it doesn't work. Okay. Is that working? I think it is on now. I do have this over here. I think it is. I don't think that's better though. Maybe it doesn't work. Okay. Is that working? I think it is on now. I do have this over here. I think it is. Yeah, it's on. Okay. So I'm gonna try it with this. It does kind of sound like shit. I think you're supposed to hold it. Everybody in their videos like holds it. They're like, blah 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 blah. So anyway, hold on. Let me put this here for a sec. It does kind of sound like shit. I gotta put my tripod on. My broken. Well, now it's a duopod. So anyway, hold on. Let me put this here for a sec. It does kind of sound like shit. I gotta put my tripod on. My broken. Well, now it's a duopod. So anyway, hold on. Let me put this here. I'm just experimenting with a live stream technique here. Karaoke yesterday. Maybe I'll do some more karaoke. I'm just experimenting. It's freezing outside. Technique here. It literally is karaoke yesterday. Maybe I'll do some more karaoke. It's literally like. You can't hear anything. You couldn't hear anything I was just saying. So you got my monitor here. My delayed monitor. You can't hear anything. You couldn't hear anything. I don't know if that is that better. Do people like that better with the mic? I don't know. My delayed monitor. Okay. I mean, it's kind of crackling. I'm definitely hearing like crackling. I don't know if that is that better. Do people like that better with the mic? I don't know. There is a chat on for those watching. Did we watch the Bob Weir? See, it kind of sounds like shit. I mean, is that better? Do people like that better with the mic? I don't know. There is a chat on for those watching. I do think it sounds better without the microphone. See, it kind of sounds like shit. I mean, let's try it without the phone in the background. Maybe that's. I mean, it does feel like crackly and there's a lot of interference or something. So I don't know that it is a superior. Like I said, this was $5 at the Five Below, and I suspected they might have something like this because we're moving into an era where everybody is making goddamn content and TikTok videos, and it is kind of freeing to be able to. I wonder how far I can go with this thing. Like, could I go over there? And so the Five Below, oh my God, if you don't have one in your neighborhood, you got to get one because it is the ultimate. They have a lot of, I mean, I went there to get a phone case for my new phone. I got this. It's all white. I don't know. I mean, the other ones they had were like clear and shit, so I thought the all white would be kind of stylish and suave in a way. I don't know. it seemed the most protective, I guess. Hold on, let me see what this is sounding like. Just real quick. Just real quick, because I don't want to do a whole thing and then have it be jacked. Active, I guess. Hold on, let me see what this is sounding like. Just that's not bad. I don't hate that. It's more like booming, I guess, more kind of present. This is like, that this little thing, this little cunty. I'm holding the. So anyway, I went to Five and Dime or Five Below or whatever the hell, the new Five and Dime, Five Below, and it really is below. They have this escalator and you go down, and it's just the most amazing store. They have shirts, they have notebooks. This is where I got this notebook. And they have all this like phone stuff pretty cheap. They've got, I mean, I got a Bluetooth speaker for $5. It's a bunch of cheap Chinese junk, I guess. But they have a lot of high end kind of dollar store, anything you could want. I got this iPhone tripod that broke. The phone case I think was $7 or $8. I got AirPods for $7. And charger, whatever the hell you need. They got it. They got Bluetooth, big speakers. They got Bluetooth microphones. So I'm like, they got Bluetooth. I'm thinking about getting a gaming headset for this. I think gaming headset might be but this, so the gaming headsets were $20 and it's got like a, visor kind of microphone thing. Um, but then I'm checking out, I'm by the register and I noticed behind the counter they've got these Bluetooth microphones, which I suspected they might have because they're a little bit creator friendly. Five Below is one of the last things in our society that I feel like is not completely jacked. Oh, am I too tired to do this? I feel tired. I'm trying to experiment with new live streaming techniques. Now that I've got the two cameras, phones, I got wrestling on TV. I'm watching wrestling right now. Cena, Seth Rollins with the Money in the Bank thing. There's Lesnar. I've got this phone, and because it's my monitor, and I can check my Instagram or fact check whatever we need to do. And so, this is something I've done a couple times, but we've been doing karaoke around the house now and again. And I just thought, what the hell? To me, it's sort of like these venue live streams. Like why the hell not live stream performance from your living room? And so I was live streaming the karaoke last night. You may have tuned in. We got like 150 views. So, I mean, we were on for 4.5 hours. The thing is, I can't be talking for 4.5 hours. And so it's like, now that I've got this second phone for streaming, it kind of opens up my possibility. And I sort of said it jokingly, but like, I could live stream my whole life now with this. And a lot, to be honest, a lot of these people are. I Show Speed or Kai Cenat or whatever. It's like they literally live stream when they're asleep. And so one thing that I kind of noticed, and was sort of the point of my TV show, was like capturing life, capturing interactions as content, as art, as a scene. That's why my show is called Scenes from a Life. Because it's meant to be, scenes that I filmed from my life. Rather than write. So anyways, rather than writing them and scripting them and getting actors and filming them, I just started filming it with my phone directly. Because I thought my friends were funny. I thought my family was interesting. I thought they were all great characters, doing great work. And that's what I would write about anyway. Real life. Here I am talking to nobody, but I do have a microphone now. $5. God bless America. The tariffs are working. No, they want to flood the market with surveillance technology, so we just all reveal our information to them. Where was I? And so one thing I was sort of watching, because I'm trying to clip farm. That's my new thing, is I'm trying to come up with little moments from these streams where I can, oh, there it goes, clip them out and put them on TikTok, put them on YouTube Shorts. I'm still in the testing phase. I'm seeing what works. The political stuff works oddly well on TikTok, and the poetry stuff works oddly well, and performance stuff works oddly well on YouTube, and vice versa. They don't work on the other platforms. And I don't know. I've got 4.5 hours of karaoke stream. There were definitely some entertaining moments. And this is new to me. I guess I could go back to old streams and try to clip farm stuff from that. I was watching these Tim Dillon clips that somebody just posted from back when he had a little guy that was on the show. I don't know if people remember that, but Tim Dillon, there used to be another guy. It was like this little guy who just sat there and laughed while Tim Dillon ranted. He didn't say anything. He just sat there. But there did used to be another guy. And so those are pretty old clips somebody's posting. So, now I'm a little bit self-conscious in the stream because I'm trying to come up with clip farming viral, 30-second to minute and a half. And I think people do get the sarcasm on TikTok. I think people do understand that I'm like joking about trans athletes, or my video about trans athletes did pretty well, actually. And they're all doing pretty well. I'm getting 300 to 400 views. I'm getting 20 likes. So like, how's that sound for everybody? Does that sound good? I'm testing this new furry lav mic here. And so as I'm watching the karaoke video last night, are people really going to want to watch a clip of me singing Kiss? Possibly. But the parts that I thought were kind of interesting were the in-between moments where, God damn it, I just wish this tripod just worked. What happened? Orientation is locked. Rotate. Okay, there we go. I just wish I had another tripod leg. I could just park this thing somewhere. Watching the Becky Lynch women's wrestling. I wonder if any of these chicks could beat Andy Kaufman. Do you think Charlotte Flair could beat Andy Kaufman? Or Chyna? Do you think Chyna could beat Andy Kaufman? Or Nicole Bass? Damn it. Where can I put this damn tripod? I wonder if I could put it, I wonder how far of a reach this microphone has. If I could put it over there. This is one of the advantages of streaming from the phone, is I can get all kind of different setups, and it kind of changes visually. It's not like a laptop where it just kind of you sit there for fucking 4 hours from the same angle. It did snow here. Look at the snow, everybody. It's supposed to snow all day tomorrow, up to 4 inches possibly. So we're staying in and staying cozy. Chilling. Chilling. Let me just try to put this here for right now. Back to this. Uh-oh. Can't get that copyrighted material on there. Alright, so anyway. Fuck. It keeps twisting that way. Son of a bitch. Oh, I just can't get this locked in how I want it to be. This is the problem when you use a tripod from Five Below. Is this thing still on? Yeah, okay. You know, these are not necessarily the premium Bluetooth. They're not even Bluetooth. I mean, this is just a wireless receiver that it literally is plugged into the fucking lightning port on my phone. This is not even a Bluetooth thing. So it is kind of ghetto. It's not, you know, necessarily state of the art. It's just cheap Chinese junk flooding the American market for the content creators to get started. I guess I should probably invest in better equipment, but this was even big for me. I mean, it's rare for me to even buy anything, a new phone. Like I said, AirPods, who knows if I'll even use them. I barely use that Bluetooth speaker, but it's good to have. And I'm trying to, you know, like I said, it's evolve or die. That's been the recent theme. 2026. I mean, with the open mic, you know, we've been kind of doing a similar thing for a few years. You know, I don't think it hurts to just try something new. You know, and so with the live streams, it's kind of the same thing. Or music, you know, playing with Vivian Crayon. Uh, you know, trying to evolve. For me, it's like I don't know. It's in a lot of respects, I never really got that far in my artistic pursuits. I usually just quit. Or, you know, I guess there's always evolution, but, you know, consistency, I do believe in consistency. And it can seem repetitive and pointless to people to just do the same fucking thing over and over again. But, uh, you know, you're getting better. It's like you're getting better within. I don't know. There's a focus to that. There's a meditative kind of drilling to that, and just showing up and doing the best you can with what you have. But I don't know. There's a lot of shit going on astrologically. The astrology right now is like crazy. I don't even know what the fuck. Neptune and Pisces, Aries. There's crazy shit. In the next month, there's just supposed to be all kind of crazy fucking astrological stuff. And so, uh, it's a time of change in a weird way. We've been anticipating this for a long time. Whatever the fuck Trump is going to do, is he going to die? Is he going to cause World War IX? Where can I put this thing while I'm smoking weed? How do I smoke weed and use my lav mic at the same time? AI, Grok, how do I smoke weed and use my lav mic? Help me, AI. I need a little robot or something to hold my... I need a little lav mic stand. Well, the thing is, I can't strap it to my sweater because it's all loud and shit. So it's, you know, kind of a poor design. Surprise, surprise. Let me just see what this sounds like for a sec. Let's try that. I'm on my smoke break. How's that for? Maybe should I check it on? Let me just check it on my monitor phone. See, I need my. This is headquarters. I need all my. On my smoke break. I think that sounds pretty good. Maybe should I check it on? Let me just check it. I mean, it's a little blown out, but better, you know, robust and booming than thin and just stock off the over the counter. So anyway, trying to, I should have done this a decade ago. I should have started a fucking video podcast a decade ago. We already sort of were. I already saw that coming. I wanted to live stream every goddamn Holy Smokes practice. And we kind of did. And so now the world has finally caught up. They're selling fucking Bluetooth lav mics at goddamn Five Below. Or, I'm sorry, non-Bluetooth, pseudo Bluetooth, fake Bluetooth, pirate Bluetooth. Okay, so I did have some things I want to talk about. So I do have a list of things. Okay, the first thing I wanted to talk about, there's this trend on Instagram, 2016. Post your pictures from 2016. Oh, I'm talking about evolve or die. And so we're evolving, I'm trying to evolve my streams, trying to evolve my content, always trying to see the future, being an Aquarius, I think all the time. I wrote this script, a movie thing about somebody who live streams. They faked their death on a live stream. 20 years ago, I wrote that. And so I'm still trying to see 20 years ahead, even now. And so clipping these moments, right? There was moments where Ashley and I were just sitting on the couch talking about karaoke, talking about my phone doesn't have MagSafe. And so I just clipped that stuff because it's sort of like a podcast. We're sitting on the couch and we're talking. And it's sort of like that wasn't the part of the live stream that we thought was like content. It was a karaoke live stream. So like we're looking for the next song, but we're just talking while we're looking for the next song. And to me, honestly, that was kind of like the funniest, most interesting part of the live stream. The songs are awesome and fun, but like that's what I'm trying to capture with a lot of my like blogs or whatever. It's just these kind of moments of found spontaneous humor or beauty or poetry or profundity, truth. Capture the music of how people actually talk, the rhythms of that. And so I was really drawn to those moments. And we were talking about topical stuff. It was like commentary, but it was coming in a little bit more naturalistic way. It wasn't just like we're sitting there with microphones like, oh, I think The Wait is the worst karaoke song, or Ashley likes The Wait because it's an Igby Goes Down or whatever. So that was the clip. Nobody liked it. But I thought it was kind of an interesting direction to go with the live streams. That's what I've noticed with like the I Showed Speed live streams, the Kai Cenat live streams, is like they live stream every goddamn thing, and then they have editors who go in and like hone in on like the moments of interaction and literally everything. It's like a sitcom. When we're sitting here on this couch and I'm filming from right there while we're doing karaoke, it looks like fucking Married with Children. I look like Al Bundy. She looks like Peg. The camera is like where the TV is, looking at the living room. It's like that's every sitcom. It's just like this is the sitcom of us hanging out doing karaoke in the living room on Friday night. And this is the dialogue. It's Ashley talking about Igby Goes Down. It's me talking about how I'm kind of annoyed by the song The Wait. Because you just hear it everywhere. It's like Hallelujah. The Wait has become almost like it's a modern hymn, to capitalism and just carrying the burden of life the best that you can. It's not easy. For as long as you can, carrying that weight, It's a hackneyed metaphor. It's a cliched. See, there's big pillows in this. I don't know if I can really use that. So I'm looking for interesting visual ways to clip farm. I need some kind of AI clip farming editor. because I feel like I'm getting into something with these YouTube shorts, and I need to figure out how to play that game. You know, I need to figure out how to do something that works on TikTok, do something that works on, because that's how you pipe people in. And I don't know, it's becoming more normal to just like stream real shit. It's not quite, this psychotic. So anyway, I wanted to talk about the 2016 trend. I think it's one of these things. I heard a good take on it, which was 2016 is Gen Z's 2007. Um, it's sort of right before it was when they're 19 years old or whatever. I don't know. Right before, I don't know, like real adulthood maturity. Indie Sleaze was 2007. I was 22, I guess. To me, the 2016 thing, it's sort of Gen Z's first realization of like a nostalgia wave. Something happens to you in your 20s where like and throughout your life, but in your 20s, it's the first time you're 20 years from like your childhood, you're 10 years from like a younger version of yourself that was still kind of an adult. And so like it's really their first like adult nostalgia. They can sort of look back at 2016 and be like, "Oh wow, it's far enough away in the past that now it's like they have perspective on it and it's sort of materialized as this um identifiable category of time." I mean, obviously it's before Trump. That's the big significance of it, is like 2016 was sort of the last. I mean, for me, it was not a good year. It was really probably one of the worst years of my life. It was just hard. And, Trump was a big part of that, and he became the president January of the next year. So anybody that says people are always puzzled, like, why did things go to shit in 2016? It's like, it's pretty fucking obvious why. Like, anybody who's not an idiot can see why. It's like, if Donald Trump wasn't the fucking president, we would not be living in the goddamn shambles that we're in. And so that's why people look. To me, 2015 was really the last normal year. 2015 was like still legacy media, still CNN. Apps and shit like that existed, but like influencers were kind of rare. Even people like Logan Paul really weren't that or famous yet and powerful. There was no they hadn't the internet was not like a threat to like legacy media. They kind of coexisted in a way. Even Netflix was like still this kind of like, but 2015, like even Trump was like a joke in 2015. He was sort of on the radar, but like it was still insane that Trump would, you know. And then 2016 was when things started to go fucking haywire. And then we all, the rest is history, but um I think it's the first time that people like Ashley's age look back and they can sort of be like, okay, look at the person I was. Look at the technology, the phone camera looks different. The Instagram filters look different. Look at the choices I was making, like God knows why the fucking tech people are trying to instigate that. I'm sure there's some kind of ulterior motive. I'm sure they are data farming for some kind of AI thing or something. Um, 2016 was the year of Pokemon Go, which was kind of nuts. I thought that was going to be the future. I thought there was going to be more shit like Pokemon Go, where they sort of use phones to engineer the social and environment in a like active way, but they do that. It's just way more subtle now. And that's just, it's hard to believe 2016 was 10 years ago, but that's life. It's like as you get older, things in your past change shape or reveal themselves as, the world has changed a lot. When I went to college in 2003 versus now looking back, it is like goddamn dazed and confused or some shit. It seems like a simpler time and a slower time and a more a golden time or whatever because you're young. It's almost like that's built into life. It's part of like the time span as you get older, as you evolve, as you change, as you age, as you start to look different. It becomes more and more noticeable. Look how young we were. How do you make peace with aging? How do you not just get afraid of falling to pieces? Your body betrays you. Everything goes to shit. Maybe I should just leave this because it's 0. I'm getting 0 and 0. Maybe I should play guitar or something until people start watching. Let me talk about some more shit. So that's just, I'm going to weave these all together. I'll get back to this, but I'm just kind of laying it out. I probably have more to say to that, but uh, these are a couple other things I want to talk about. Airplanes go everywhere now. This is something I was reading this Etel Adnan book. I was in book club bar in the East Village on 3rd Street, which is a nice place to just go, and they have chairs, and I like to go to public to read. I like to go sit in a public place, a library, a bar, and just pick books that they have. Pick nonfiction stuff. Like this Etel Adnan book. I don't own it, but I'm curious. There's an interview in it. I think there's some poems in it. It's a more recent kind of compilation thing. And, I like Etel Adnan. I think Etel Adnan is probably one of the more kind of essential contemporary poets or whatever. And so they were talking about how the world changed like in the 50s and 60s, and the difference was like airplanes go everywhere now, which means, and this is part of the reason why we have globalization, is just like people are traveling all over the world. There's all of this immigration, there's all of this kind of internationalization of culture because there's airplanes constantly bringing people, to from one country to the other. And that affects the whatever, the dialects, the uniformity of the individual places. We have that potential now. Like this is one reason why New York has changed the way it has. It's like it really is not a city of people that live here. It's like the whole world has a piece of New York, and it's just another stop. It's just another airport, basically, where it's like, yeah, you have an apartment here. You're here part of the year. You come into the city. But it's like you're a global citizen. You live in Australia. You live in France. You're flying. You may even have a fucking private jet. You're flying to fucking Asia. You're flying to China. You're flying to fucking whatever it is. Israel. You're flying to Switzerland. You're flying to France, England. There's just like an abundance mindset. And, it does feel to me, maybe I am just like looking for this, but it does seem to me like women are the ones who like partake in that, or like they uh I don't know. I mean, to me, it's here, it's arrived. Like human beings have this capability, right? Like we have jets, we have airports, like we can fucking do supersonic travel, fly 400 miles an hour, like, but it's killing the environment, right? I mean, there's so many goddamn flights, the emissions, whatever. It's horrible for the greenhouse or whatever. And so to me, it is almost like gentrification, where it's sort of unethical to take advantage of that, but the people that do so are sort of privileged, and they don't look at it that way. They look at it, they would never look at it that way. They would never look at it like it's, wrong to fucking be a part of this jet set that's sort of like, I don't know. It is tourism. It is a kind of imperialistic or colonizer or transient, non-committal mindset. Or I mean, traveling. I keep thinking of this Werner Herzog. Tourism is sin, right? Traveling on foot is virtue. Herzog is sort of an advocate of walking, what you might call slow travel. Tourism is sin. It's a sin to fly someplace and sort of dabble in all of the finer. This is one reason why all these world cities are kind of becoming the same. Or they're being sort of like vacuumed of their individuality because their assets, their brands, their commodities, really. These cities are commodities in this kind of like adventure capitalism of travel. And it's an accessory of anybody who's like a serious person. If you're a high value person, chances are you're going to be traveling a lot for either work or pleasure or both. If you're a really high value person, you probably even have a fucking private jet and pilots. If you're really a genetic standout and an alpha, you definitely have pilots like fucking Dan Bilzerian. The rest of us are flying goddamn Spirit Airlines or taking the goddamn Chinatown bus like me. It totally is a class. I mean, they even say that. It's business class, it's first class, it's coach, whatever the fuck that means. Coach, like you're on the goddamn fucking Oregon Trail, like you're fucking Maverick. You're riding in the coach with John Wayne and Gary Cooper. We'll be up in first class getting our foot baths or massage chairs and our champagne toasts, eating steak and lobster. You're back in Spirit Airline. They've got like one of those benches that's like in the subway now that has no seat. It's just like a rail. I thought they heard they were going to try to get people to stand on airlines. That's the next move. They want to maximize the number of people they can get on a plane so they can make the most money. And so they're going to like just get rid of the chairs. There's just going to be like poles that people can lean against while you're on a flight, while they're taxiing for fucking hours. When Ashley flew to San Francisco a few months ago or whatever for Christmas, she said they were like circling the airport for they almost ran out of fuel. The pilot was like, "We're running out of fuel. We have to do an emergency landing." It's like, that is insanity. It's crazy what's in these fucking commercial airlines. Anyway, I'll try to clip that out. That's 38. Okay, I'll try to remember that. I think that was I can use that. That can be a little mini rant about. Well, I don't know. Women are bourgeois, and they don't. I think they're inherently bourgeois. Like it's the nature, It's like they have all these makeup products. They have all this stuff they have to buy in order to just like exist. Whatever it is, feminine hygiene type things, and they want to have nice. They're afraid. It's like they're biologically disgusted by insects, a spider. Look at the way a woman reacts to a spider or, dust, mice. Maybe that's a cliche. Maybe that's some kind of societal imprinting, but, um, it seems to me like they want cleanliness. They want lace. They want, I mean, look at this place. Um, Ornamentation, fringe, embellishment, like that's just a part of. I'm not saying that as a criticism, but you know, um, I'm frustrated, I guess, because I'm not one of these people that's flying all over the fucking world and on tour in Europe or whatever, or flying home for the holidays in goddamn, Australia. Not that I'd want to do that, but I do think that it has, this part of the point Etel Adnan was making was like, this is one of the reasons why the world is the way it is now. Everything is kind of assimilating to everything else. We're not beholden to where we were born. It's easy to travel across the entire planet within a day. You can go anywhere. And there is all of this shuffling about that's constantly going on. And so, there is a lot of discourse about Europe is changing, France is changing, England is changing, the United States, the whole fucking Trump thing is about immigration, the ICE thing. They use immigration as like the fucking bad guy in globalization. And, there's a concurrent globalization with the transnational security elite. These are the people that are on the fucking airplanes. They're the ones on the private planes or first class or whatever. And, the capitalist competition is to sort of try to become somebody good enough to fly first class or to have a private jet like fucking Taylor whatever. It's a status symbol. It's a practicality. It's a way of separating yourself from fucking the rabble, like the fucking Titanic. The rich people have all this space. They have the upper decks. The poor people are all like crammed into the fucking bottom. There's no windows. So it's a crime. If you're flying all over the world, you should feel guilty about it. Um, I think it's in our nature to just like if we can do things, then it's looked on as just like permissible or something. Like having the self-discipline or you know, the what the depriving yourself or whatever of like being a gentrifier or the equivalent of that I would say is like culturally just dabbling in these sort of luxury cities or uh having some sort of like you're just living in hotels. I don't know. It's nice work if you can get it, I guess. But it's frustrating in New York because I think, it enables, and I'm not talking about like immigrants. I'm more talking about like people who have money, regardless of where they're from, to be able to afford, like a fucking plane ticket across the world is not cheap, I don't think. And to be able to like sustain that, I don't know. I think it's a bad habit growing up to resent people for that kind of stuff and to feel like you're missing out. But like you can't really blame people for traveling, I guess. It's it's fun. Uh um but I don't know. I mean, lately I've been finding myself and maybe this is an illusion, with this idea that like most people on the planet are just like suffering. They cannot make choices about their own lives because they don't have money, they don't have opportunity, they're trapped, they're whatever it is. They have to work bad jobs or whatever just to survive, and that sucks up all their time. They don't even get to chase their dream or whatever. Uh Most men are leading lives of quiet desperation. Most people on the planet. I mean, like I said, maybe that's a misconception. Maybe the quality of living on the planet has gone up, and, with phones, the internet, I don't know. Maybe most people on the internet have access to the same sense of abundance that we have. All we do is just watch shit on our phones. It's like they're probably doing the same fucking thing. And, Somalia or Ethiopia or whatever the places they used to act were like victimized third world. Uh, but as a kid, your parents are constantly telling you like you're gonna get spoiled. We're not gonna spoil you. You're a spoiled brat. You're spoiled. We can't spoil the kids by giving them too much shit. And it's like I never felt spoiled that much. I don't think I came out as like a spoiled person. Um, and I feel like I'm surrounded people who were fucking spoiled and still are. And I don't know. I guess it's like a cynical kind of way of dealing with. How's that microphone sounding? Is that sounding okay? Let me just. This is how I hash out my fucking problems on a Saturday night. I go on goddamn YouTube and just like fucking say too much. Let me just check this. This is how I hash out my fucking problems on a Saturday. It sounds like some kind of weird phone call. Whatever. We'll go with it for now. We're clip farming. It's freezing. What am I gonna do? I guess if I was a real pro, I'd be out there hitting the fucking. I'm recuperating after. I mean, it was a big week. It's been a big, and then my birthday is next week, so it's gonna be a big. So I'm just kind of like taking it easy and experimenting with this and playing with my new toys, my new phone, my Bluetooth microphone, my iPhone tripod that's broken, so it's only a two-pod, a dupod, a bipod, Oh, it's Bret Hart. What's he doing? Look, he's got these cool John Lennon shades on. What the fuck was I saying about? Oh yeah, I want to reveal some kind of deep psychological insight on the internet because I can't afford therapy and I don't want to. Um, I don't know. I guess I justify it by just going, well, I mean, with poetry stuff in particular, it's like there's a lot of just like self-congratulatory and um, grandiose kind of conception of the self, and well, just a need be to get up in front of people and do that. I don't know what that's about. To get attention, to feel special. People need pictures of themselves reading poetry in public to audiences. And I don't know. I was just raised to like have disdain for that kind of need for attention, I guess. Even though I am totally built to like seek attention and I don't know, these events, these readings, these especially people that go on book tours, flying all over the place, teaching all over the place, whatever it is. It's like they're very privileged, they're very spoiled, and they're living this kind of like ego-driven resource um, you know, utilizing kind of like lifestyle so they can feel good about themselves, so they can sort of push toward their goals about being a famous writer or a successful writer or whatever it is. And I mean, especially in poetry world, I just see a lot of glad handing. I think New York sucks now. There's a lot of poetry and all of it's like kind of mid for the most part. There's a lot of mid stuff that's just because it's vulnerable or people fit into certain categories. People get jobs. They get, all of the people in the institutions. There has been an institutional capture by really uninteresting mid poets that are just like super careerists and super kind of like they're rats just trying to gnaw at some kind of fucking success and climb the ladder, and they're just really mid poets. I'm sorry. They're trying to like, be these serious like fucking CD Wright or Jay Wright or Charles Wright or Franz Wright, or they're all named fucking Wright, or Lucy Brock Broido or D.A. Powell. It's all like garbage. And everybody's trying to imitate that stuff, and all of the people with power in poetry are not very adventurous. They all just got their positions because of their victim status. And so the city is full of like really sincere, conniving, um, manipulative poets that just want jobs. They want to be academics. They want to teach in universities. And that's not poetry. I'm sorry. But they don't own poetry. They don't have a monopoly on poetry just because they get their book published with some crappy little, whatever. It's all little cults. They're all little cults of personality that they're just kind of propping up their friends. They don't have any real audience for the most part. They wedge their way into these institutional positions that gives them some sense of power and some sense of authority, and they get to teach and stuff, but it's like we have a lot more effect on people's lives, and we affect a lot more people's lives at the open mic every Monday. We are energizing people and we're teaching them more about poetry than you'll ever learn in a fucking classroom from some nerd who got an MFA. So, I don't think that should be overlooked. And I think all of the people in the institutions are pretty milquetoast. They're all just really, I mean, especially the women. Not to be like a bigot about it, but it's like it's pretty much women and gay people because that's the law. Um, and they're incredibly like vindictive or something. They feel like very ideologically driven, and that they couple that with like the way that they're professionally driven. They're just hyper cutthroat, competitive, and they use you know their identity. They lean on that. You know, that's the whole point. And so, these are the people that can afford to live here. These are the people that are traveling around. Fucking, I'm gonna get a fucking Reese cup. What do you say? Am I scaring people away with my bigoted? Uh, well, I don't know. I mean, I do think that like it's important that we're doing what we're doing. It's important that we're doing music the way that we're doing, and we're keeping the edge alive, and we're keeping, the raggedy kind of ragman poetics alive, poetry of the streets, but shit that actually has like integrity stylistically, not just a bunch of fucking whack typewriter poetry. I think typewriter poetry sucks so bad. I hate all of it. There's very few poetry that I actually like. I guess I like chatty poetry, but I hate typewriter poets are the worst. They are absolutely the worst poets. And yet somehow they're charging people. I mean, good for them. Just because you own a typewriter, it sort of looks aesthetic on Instagram, and that's really what it's about. People just want some kind of like Instagram filter looking real life souvenir. And I guess these typewriter poets are making money, but don't give them any money. I'm sorry. Just because you have a typewriter does not make you a poet. Just because like the little fucking piece of stationery you posted it, you typed it on, like looks good on Instagram and has like a vibe. There was this guy in Washington Square Park who's like a typewriter poet, but he also sells candles that are like molded like a penis. That drove me nuts. So it's like, what could be more hack than that? But I'd like to get out there. I'd like to try to be a typewriter poet. I don't have a typewriter. I don't have a tray. I don't have a sign. I haven't seen a typewriter poet yet with any legitimacy. I also think that was a product of like the pandemic. People got hiatus from work. They got a bunch of money. That everybody went on TikTok. Everybody went on Instagram. We're all trying to be influencers. We're all entrepreneurial artists of our own self brands, content creators. And so being a typewriter poet, it's just like interviewing people in Washington Square. Like it's just like starting a talk show on TikTok. What else can I talk shit about? Airplanes go everywhere now. I'm just hating on people who ride in airplanes. Well, when I look at, like my family or something, there wasn't a whole lot of people riding on any airplanes anywhere, very much. It happened, it did happen, but it's not like we were flying home for Christmas every fucking year and goddamn, Greece or something. Paris. We weren't going to Paris for Christmas like Kevin McAllister. It's amazing how Home Alone is like a keystone for our generation. It makes sense because it was like an early major. At the age we were at, it was like a blockbuster. And it was at our cultural level. It was about a kid who was like 7 years old. We were about that old, 5, 6, 7 years old, whatever. So it was a pop culture success that was sort of about us. It was peer to peer. And Macaulay Culkin, I think, is aged well. I think it's aged. He's proven that like that wasn't a fluke. Macaulay Culkin is a really interesting artist. He is an artist. He grew up in this kind of interesting New York, bohemian milieu in a weird way, almost like the Phoenixes, Joaquin Phoenix or River, but like in like the Chelsea Hotel or that sort of vibe. Um, I was a huge fucking Home Alone fan. But people look, they're constantly, how did they afford this shit? They've got this giant house. They've got 10 kids. They're all going to fucking Paris for Christmas. They're all flying there. How the fuck what does Kevin's dad do? And how much are they fucking spending on Christmas? Kevin's rich. Kevin's dad owns BlackRock. Kevin's dad worked for Raytheon. Kevin's dad is a Palantir executive. No, now it'd be like Kevin's dad was an early Bitcoin adopter. I guess that's poor people. Poor people are, most of us are poor. And I don't think most people are flying all over the place. Maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe people get around. Most people I know that want to go places become flight attendants. I thought about becoming a flight attendant. I've had more than one friend who was a flight attendant just so they could travel for free. It's like, that's not a fucking easy job. You're like risking your life to do that job. But when you're young and you want to travel everywhere, you're like, fuck yeah. I'll go to flight attendant school. What the hell else am I going to do with my life? Be an open mic host, I guess. And so I don't know. I guess I'm just driven because my Instagram is full of skinny women just on constantly on European vacations. Europe is where the real, the real motherfuckers spend their vacations. Look, even fucking Bezos, what he got married in Venice or whatever. George Clooney got married in Italy. It's like, it's kind of the best place, I guess. It's better than America at this point. Now that everything's fracturing, now that the whole fucking NATO alliance is going to go out the door in the sort of it's the real NWO. I mean, there's a reason why Hulk Hogan was at the Republican National Convention, brother. That was an NWO heel turn. He should have wore the Hollywood outfit. He should have wore the black and white, brother. He should have come out as fucking to Hendrix and spray painted like the presidential seal or something. NWO, brother. This is the real new world order. Trump is. I mean, the justification that I'm seeing from extreme right wing think tanks on TikTok. Trump is playing 4D chess. Okay, Trump is playing 7D fucking baccarat. Okay, he's playing Chinese checkers. Is what fucking Trump is playing. Oh my God! Is my microphone still on? I hope so. This mic is really crushing for me, I'm sure. I wonder if there's an actual tripod here somewhere. Trump is playing Chinese checkers, okay? Well, the idea with Greenland, right, is basically like the Arctic is going to melt, and they want these shipping routes over the North Pole to trade with Russia. Russia wants global warming. They want all that shit to melt because then they'll have a huge coastline on their north coast that will be insanely valuable and nice. They'll have thousands of miles of like nice coastline near the fucking North Pole. And then they can use shipping to ship wherever over the North Pole. And so Greenland is kind of in the way. Whereas like if Russia, China, or like right now Denmark. I know I'm pretty late to the Greenland thing, but in a certain way, what did they say? Trump looks at it like a real estate deal. It's basically just like an acquisition. And one way or another, they're going to say yes. He's going to make an offer they can't refuse, basically. That's capitalism. That line is deeper than you think. It's not just this badass sounding line. It's about you make them an offer. That is what capitalism is, basically, is like, it's not really capitalism. It's like, here's the deal we are going to give you, and you're going to take it, or we will kill you. That's capitalism. That's ultimately the best deal because you're guaranteed to get the most of what you want that way. And so that's the deal that the United States has made with countries all over the fucking world for at least a century. Banana republics, the CIA overthrowing their government. We're making them offers they can't refuse. They literally can't refuse. We're the United States. We're number one. We're the big dog. We will fuck them up. And so that's, if we want Greenland, she's going to have to say yes. We'll make them an offer they can't refuse. It remains to be seen what that is, per se. Are they going to invade them? Are they going to whatever? And I don't know. Trump seems to just want to leave Europe behind for some reason, or I mean, this is why the suspicion that he is tied up with Russia is important, because this is exactly what Putin wants, right? Is for the United States to withdraw from NATO, so Europe is sort of left on their own to defend themselves, whatever he wants to do. If he wants to take Ukraine and then some, if Putin wants to invade Europe, it's a possibility. Who the fuck knows how far these berserkers want to take it? Does Trump want to take Canada, Greenland? I think that's why he wants Canada too. He wants that coastline. He wants those resources, those minerals. He wants to secure that bag for future generation. He's power hungry. He's not looking at it like respecting other countries' consent or sovereignty. You know, this is obvious. This Trump is to grab him by the the democracy candidate, grab him by the grab Greenland by the fucking who knows what he's going to do, tariffs, or he just tariffed somebody today, who, France or Denmark or England, one of them. I think England maybe. So now, right, all of our trade partners are seeking other, like Canada just formed this trade alliance with China. They're seeking alternatives. They're seeking backup. They're seeking other, if the United States wants to be that way and sort of fuck with everybody and just sort of like, piss them off, then like they're all turning their backs on us. It's not good. But Trump's playing 4D chess somehow. I don't know. I mean, nothing crazy, nothing that crazy has happened yet. There's been a lot of shaking the fucking apple cart, shaking the cage, but I don't know. It does feel like something is imminent. It feels like they want to get this shit started in the, as soon as after the fiscal new year and after the holidays. Let's get this shit moving. Let's get these wars really cooking. Let's fucking piss Venezuela off. Let's fucking, put our hands all over Greenland. Let's grope them. Let's fucking piss in Canada's face. All these people like surrounding us. The Venezuelan president just gave Trump her Nobel Peace Prize. What kind of fucking, it's just insanity. That's the Trump magic somehow. There's always some kind of counter fucking, what else have I got? Oh yeah, well, part of what I wanted to talk about was how the right wing and Trump even uses imagery and, obviously, particularly like these AI images. Like Trump regularly shares like these kind of insane AI, like demonic, hallucinatory, like nightmares. Trump like regularly shares like AI generated, like fucking just like batshit slop, just slop. And part of the reason for that, and part of, we're in this image-based culture. We went from being like a text-based, literacy-based culture in the 20th century, and now we're like firmly kind of in this image-forward culture. And this is a lot, this is kind of the crisis we're in, right? It's like nobody reads. No one has visual literacy. No one can even tell the difference between AI images and fakes. And, this is part of the crisis that we're in, is people do not have critical thinking skills. They've been systematically deprived of critical thinking skills. And that works to the fascists and to people like Trump's advantage. Trump can create a reality out of these memes and shit that people are just amused by. Oh, there's Trump as like a Minotaur tank, like fucking firing rockets out of his ass, and he's like gold. He looks like God. There's all these, there's endless Trump memes, right? Just endless. And he sort of became a meme. His last campaign was basically a bunch of memes. He certainly didn't say shit about invading Greenland. I think that's part of what's fucked up about this, is he didn't None of it was mentioned during his campaign. He didn't say, oh, you know what, we're going to fucking kidnap the fucking leader of Venezuela in the middle of the night and we're going to fucking invade Greenland and Canada. And he didn't mention any of that shit. He said he let people get the impression that he was the peace candidate and he was going to stop the genocide. He was just playing coy. You know, he was being sly. And he lied to everybody. Surprise, surprise. Gee, who'd have thought it's in Donald Trump's character to lie to people? He certainly doesn't have a history of that. It's not like one of his prime fucking character, like identifiers or anything. Who could have predicted? He lied. It was just a bunch of imagery. It was him working at fucking McDonald's. It was him getting shot in the ear and the fucking flag and pumping his fist. And just like the endless meme farm of right-wing kind of surrealists, hagiography, just pumping Trump's image. I mean, his image with glorified empty. There's nothing behind it, right? Like this is a characteristic of fascism. It's just idolatry. There is no. It's a way of obfuscating and rendering like irrelevant like the issues and like any content. Like it doesn't matter what the platforms are or what the policies are. It's like forget about that. Just look at the image. Just look at Hulk Hogan's at the fucking RNC, brother. And like here's Trump dance. The Trump dance. It's like the fucking Fortnite dance. Everybody's doing it. It's just a pop culture, op. It's a fucking psyop. And part of that is to the death of literacy. I do think that like, you don't have to burn the books. Like just nobody can read them. Nobody does read them. They're too expensive. They're just for rich people now. They're like these collector's items. They're these fetish objects. And the Nazis burned the books, but these people don't have to. They just gave everybody goddamn phones and made everything Candy Crush or just meme, Kamala. What were the Kamala memes? There was like some kind of coconut thing. That was about it. People didn't want to look that far. They just thought, oh, Sleepy Joe. Even that was a fucking meme. He's just Sleepy Joe. Get him the hell out of there. He's old and fucking losing his mind. We need Trump in there. We need 2016 Trump. And we are in a fucking image-driven Instagram. There's a lot of people whose livelihood is just their image. Just taking pictures of themselves on vacation, eating, whatever it is, getting ready with me. And it's like, part of my quest has been to fill the image with the kind of content and complexity and what have you that literature has. Maybe that is a fool's errand or it doesn't work that way. Maybe you do need to read. Maybe you do need to actually read. Trump doesn't fucking read. He's a post-literacy president. Let's just say that. He's our first post-literate president. And I don't think literacy will die, but I think it will probably be like, a class signifier, something certain people are, can afford to do or are brought up to do. And then other people just work in the meme farms. Other people just clip farm all day. and live stream their fucking pranks and social violence. Uh, and it is all about like how good you look. You know that we have. You know, it's a good thing that women could get something out of the fact that men are biologically programmed to like want to look at them. Like they can use that to make money now in a personal way. They can be their own boss. They can just get on fucking TikTok live and 200 guys will watch them just fucking sit there. And you know, that's cuz we're in an image driven fucking images are more powerful to they're more alluring or something. They're more immediate. You know, there's pros and cons. Books are more like mental exercise. You know, you can feel your brain working out when you're reading. And do you ever get that effect when you're watching videos on the internet? I don't know. Probably not, I guess. I try to make my videos as literature heavy as possible. You know, that's why I encourage people to watch with the subtitles on. That's why a lot of my poetry videos, I'll put captions or whatever, burn them in because it's like people can read it on the fucking screen. And if they can read it while they're listening to it, I think that's maybe the best way. You know, supposedly people couldn't read like silently until a few hundred years ago. Like when they invented reading or whatever, like people read out loud. It was more this kind of like external activity. I think it's only in the past few centuries that we've experienced reading as this kind of, you know, silent internal kind of like curling bicep curl. Can you get that same effect on the internet? Like, I don't know, or on live streaming or on podcasting, or probably not. But most of human, you know, transference of communication or whatever knowledge has been more like this probably throughout history. I think the best way to learn is to like see somebody do it, right? Or be there with somebody. Like reading is not necessarily the best way to learn how to do something if you can be there with somebody hands on. And in a certain way, maybe this is a better than, you know, is as close to that. It's closer to that than reading is. And a lot of writing is trying to capture the sound of conversation, speech, thought patterns, the foibles and kind of like imperfections of that. So trying to figure out how to put literature. I mean, people are already doing readings. They're already reading out loud. That's not reading. You know, if you're at a poetry reading, you're not reading. You're listening to somebody. That the whole poetry world is just readings. You know, it's like more people probably absorb poetry at readings than at than sitting with a goddamn book sometimes. It's like that's not reading. That's closer to this. That's closer to just like an auditory session, listening experience. I think that's part of the pleasure of poetry readings. It is gentle, it's soft, it's definite, it's specific, it's of interest in a lot of different ways. Um, it's also a social event and an ego festival. a way to kiss ass or network or why the hell did I start talking about this? I'm sure I talk about this all the time. Just like, well, I guess connecting it with the way that the fucking, I mean, maybe that's not a new point to make. Maybe people have made that point 1,000 fucking times since 2016, but memes and the way the content is sort of dissociated from the truth. Uh, and it creates this overstimulated kind of buzzy, like circus spectacle. It's funny. There's fun to it in the beginning. It's alluring. Trump's funny. He's constantly shocking us and owning the libs, and he really is inventive with the shit he pulls out of his ass. Like, no one really expects a lot of what he says. And recently, I mean, since he's dying, I mean, I do think he's got, obviously, he has some kind of issue. Whatever. People think he had a stroke. I think that's probably true. That's not unusual for older people. Trump could hang on for a few years. We don't know. But in any case, his condition is like, as he's getting closer to whatever his mortality, he's getting like he's giving less of a fuck. And he's just starting to just say shit that's like way more. I mean, he's always been an asshole, I guess. And like famously, just like saying heinous shit, but calling the reporter piggy, and I mean, he is an artist of surprise. And he does come up with, tearing down half the White House, invading Greenland, fucking stealing Maduro. Like, he comes up with, cinematic. I think that's how he looks at it. He looks at it like this is an episode of his show, or it's content. It's got to have some kind of like sweep. It's got to have some kind of like swag. Obviously with the Greenland thing, they want it for the digital, overlords to be able to use it to experiment with their smart cities and their kind of like principalities of sovereign digital city states or whatever. They want to test all that shit out in Greenland. They want to use it as their corporate utopia, I guess. What the hell else do maybe I'll play some guitar. So I mean, this is one reason why I don't fully invest in, other than like for work or vlogging and live streaming and stuff. I don't overly want to process the images that I do make. I want to contribute images to the marketplace of ideas or content or whatever that I find to be like more ethical, more trying to connect with humanity and those same values through these means. Things that literature, poetry, theater, whatever, storytelling, uh, try to get those across through the modern, technology rather than, make a safety fucking movie or something, or make some overly commercial, uh, ad campaign, or, you know, TikTok video. I try to have a little bit more of a anybody can do it and direct and I would rather be involved with writing stuff, live stuff, because I do feel like that is a more necessary, like, ethical, human way of connecting with people, of presenting things, of comporting socially or as an artist or whatever. Um, because it's ancient, you know. There are things about this that are ancient, even though it's a newer technology. There are ways that we can use it that are always useful and happening, and it's just we can expand, and there can be further reach because of things like YouTube, basically YouTube, I guess, predominantly YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I was listening to this fucking interview with Gene Shepard that was conducted by Alan Colmes in like the late 90s on New York radio, AM. People may remember Alan Colmes as the other half of Hannity and Colmes. Before Hannity just became Hannity, he ditched Colmes and he just became Hannity. They figured they didn't need fucking Colmes. Colmes was always the bitch. Hannity was like fucking Donkey Kong, and Colmes is like the princess or whatever. It was designed that he was just going to get sort of walked all over the whole fucking broadcast. Sean Hannity was just going to manhandle his ass. And so, for whatever reason, I guess he's a radio guy. He interviewed Gene Shepard in the late 90s, sort of after, way after. And it was an interesting interview. Shepard is just like real pissy because he's old. He just has no patience. He hates his fans. He has all these like grandiose ideas about himself. And it's crazy because he constantly refers to himself as a stand-up comedian. When he's sort of talking about how he got the impetus to do what he did on the radio and shit, or live, Shepard is like, well, I'd worked as a club comic for years. And he didn't consider himself like a storyteller or like some kind of oral, like literature or something. He literally says, like, I was a comic. And so he had all these tips about being a comedian. He's like, as a comic, you don't care what the audience thinks. You just do your thing. And it was kind of unbelievable because, I thought he has thought of himself maybe as a writer or some kind of experimental, but he was really just the first Manosphere podcaster, I guess. He keeps talking about the Clinton scandal. He hates Jay Leno. He starts off ripping. He's just like me. He's obsessed with Jay Leno. He's like, Jay Leno starts every show with 18 minutes of Monica cigar jokes. It's like, yeah, I completely relate to what Gene Shepard is saying. But I couldn't tell if he hated Clinton or he thought Clinton was just a disgrace or what. I couldn't tell exactly where he was. But he hated Jay Leno. And he hated being on the radio. he just like he talked about how it wasn't really what he wanted to do. He wanted to be in movies. Now he's in the movie business and the Christmas Story and all that shit. And well, one of the things he was talking about is one of the reasons why he was in the movie business and focusing on that is because this was in 90, like I said, the late 90s, 97, 98. He's like, we don't live in a reading culture. Nobody reads anymore, is what he was saying, you know, in 1998 or 97, whenever Clinton got impeached. And, you know, that was what, 30 fucking years ago almost at this point. For him to be saying that back then, I mean, right? This is the big thing everybody bitches about now is nobody reads anymore. I mean, literally nobody can read. Maybe that's the difference. So, like people in the 90s, they could read, they wanted to, they had that choice. Now it's like nobody even can read. It's just like everybody's illiterate. They couldn't even do it if they wanted to. They just have to listen to audiobooks or play. They don't even care. I don't think they think they're missing anything. Like, and I don't know. I mean, there are definitely still people reading now, even now. There are people do read millions of goddamn books a year. Maybe it's not, you know, maybe they're not cultural powerhouses like fucking Norman Mailer or something. Like you can't really name a writer that has, you know, maybe it's Thomas Pynchon. Like, there's no writer alive that has like, you know, the cultural power that, you know, say Allen Ginsberg did, or, you know, certainly not like a Mark Twain or a Hemingway or even an F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's like, who are the famous writers? Jonathan Franzen or something. Maybe Cormac McCarthy, he died. And now there is, you know, it's interesting seeing Thomas Pynchon sort of have a moment, but I don't necessarily think he's like famous fame. Maybe he is because of this movie. But he famously is a recluse, and there's not even a picture of him. Like, nobody even knows what he looks like because he won't be photographed. Like, that's how much of a G Thomas Pynchon is. He literally will not let them photograph. Does he have a fucking YouTube page? Does Pynchon have a live stream where he just puts all of his personal details of his life on the fucking Google server? Because he should get one. I mean, you could blow up. You never know. You could be the next Logan Paul. You could be the next Mr. Beast or PewDiePie. Is it a coincidence that they're all like white supremacists? I don't know. They're all like dog whistling. They're all like secret dog whistling deep in their videos. Because it's an image-based culture. You know, people on the train are watching fucking TikTok videos. And so we're losing internal sovereignty in a way. You know, that's part of reading, right? Is like solitude, interiority. It's you're literally in 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 you know, like ingesting in a way like another person's interiority. Like a book is basically a transference of another interiority. And so it's kind of a fucking amazing mystical. It's almost like a more relevant technology than ever because it's like you can just walk back into it's almost like time traveling. It's so descriptive. And oh, this was the other thing Gene Shepard said that was nuts is he made up all of his stories. This guy on the radio was so disappointed. He had all these people call in and he was so mean to them. It was just crazy how mean he was to all these people. He hates his fans. He's like Shatner at the Star Trek convention. Get a life. All these people that like radio. I'm making movies now, baby. I made Christmas Story. I'm going to be huge. In the Clinton 90s. Was Gene Shepard alive on 9/11? Where was Gene Shepard on 9/11? That's my new litmus test is you are not a New Yorker, okay? Here's the real, okay, are you a New Yorker or not? You are not a New Yorker, okay? Unless you were here on 9/11. Okay? I'm sorry. I don't make the rules, but you're not a real New Yorker, okay? I'm sorry. That's just how it is now. It's not 10 years. You're not a real New because there's no real New York anymore. It's just become like everywhere because of these goddamn airplanes. It's become just another kind of a like glass sort of nondescript like international smear of, you know, capital, stolen capital and income inequality. You know, it's just like an embodiment of like ugly income inequality, non-aesthetic, like enshittified. You know, because they stole all the money. It just went into their bank accounts and into their assets and to raise the fucking property value of everything. It's like they sucked all of the value out of the real world and just put it into like their private bank accounts and built super talls and just sort of like really nondescript, ugly, vague, shoddy, low fucking quality. You know, it's all just low quality. It's all fucking IKEA. But it's very expensive. It's luxury IKEA. And so, you know, all of the value in our lives, all of our time has just been sucked away into like the stock market and like some Elon Musk's, you know, net worth. Now he's 700, you know, because he wants to be a trillionaire. So just for the purely for the status of it, because he's got a broken dick. He's got nothing better to do but punish the world. Somebody at the open mic told some story about a billionaire who would pay women to have sex with him, and he one night he was having sex and he broke his dick, or like he had some kind of dick elongation surgery and they fucked it up or something, so his dick like didn't work, but he'd still like pay women to like sleep with him, but he couldn't actually sleep with them. It sounded like Elon Musk. Elon Musk would totally have like the dick lengthening surgery, and they botched it, and now his dick doesn't work. That's Elon Musk's origin story. That's why we're all being punished. Because his fucking dick is, you know, snapped in half. Like a fucking twig. Like a twig. Uh, I mean, it's just like we're in the age of images. You can't, there's so much proliferation of images. It's actually kind of nuts. The fact that they're even selling, you know, Bluetooth goddamn microphones at the Five Below is crazy to me. You know, they might as well sell podcasting equipment or fucking ring lights. Like now it's like all of these fucking I saw this ad the other day. I think it was on TikTok where it was like this chick influencer who was very mid, by the way. She wasn't even like anything special. And the ad was like something about like, oh, I'm trying to shoot my get ready with me videos, and you know, the footage just isn't hitting the way it needs to, and so I use blah blah blah, you know, editing software or something like that to really make my content, you know, hit when I needed to. And it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm really getting an ad for like a service that like helps me make fucking better get ready with me videos. Like, oh, you know, I'm having a crisis with my content creator business and I really need some kind of like, you know, product. So like next time I'm in Paris, You know, when I fucking AI edit a bunch of like just fucking footage I shot on my phone with my boyfriend. Okay. Hey. How's the audio on that? You like it with the microphone or not? I kind of understand why people don't always like my videos because YouTube does keep like there is like a playlist of just like liked videos. And so like it keeps a record in every like I go on my liked playlist and I see every video I've ever fucking liked and it's like and so like God that is real. Keeps a record every like I go that is like really fucking loud. Oh well. Fucking, how do I don't think there's some kind of volume on I don't think there's like a volume on this. It's pretty much just what you see is what you get type shit. Am I correct about that? I guess I could put it further away. Maybe. Let's try it down here. Is that better? Let's check that out real quick. Gold dust. Check, test, 1, 2. I'm on 106, okay. Go on my liked playlist and I see. So yeah, I kind of get it. Maybe you don't want my, 100 of my live streams in your liked playlist. Test, 1, 2. That does sound better. 106, okay. Shit, okay. I guess I wish I would have figured that out earlier, but oh well. I think I've got some clips out of this. Thank you guys for watching. I had some clippage. I can clip some shit for my clip farming. Okay. Damn. See what else. And so I don't, this is part of my like thing with movies is movies are dangerous. Look at Leni Riefenstahl, I mean, Hitler used the radio too. So I guess that's his podcast medium. Trump used everything. Trump was on fucking NBC, Saturday Night Live, The Tonight Show, fucking newspapers, New York Magazine, Epstein fucking flight logs, Pepsi commercials, Home Alone 2 for Christ's sake, Saturday Night Live impressions. And so the memes, it's like with Bush, it divorces the truth. It gives this face to the operation that's not accurate and sort of creates like a good feeling about it. People love the meme, the Trump meme. They love that he is the provider of the meme. He is the source of meme. And I guess a meme is different than movies. Like a meme, I don't know, it's almost like a catchphrase or like Saturday Night Live skits used to be back in the day, making copies or Wayne's party on type things. Certain things on Saturday Night Live would like go viral, become catchphrases. Memes, I guess, are more like I don't know. I don't just mean memes. It's the whole Trump. He's an even though he published books, he did publish books. So there is some importance in being in that space to him, getting money, getting revenue that way, and sort of like disseminating, your message that way. There's an intimacy, like even WWF wrestlers like had books and shit. At the height of Attitude Era, Mankind had a book, The Rock had a book. They all had fucking books. And they sold them. People bought them. I fucking read The Rock's book, I think. I'm pretty sure I had it. Um, you'd think these people didn't read. You'd think these country bumpkin ass redneck motherfuckers wouldn't read, but hey, they bought it. Who cares if they read it? They think they probably did read it. I don't know. Uh, I don't. We're in the info wars. We're trying to teach people to read through live streaming. You know, this is my quest to figure out how to write. So okay, so the bombshell was that Gene Shepard just made all that shit up. None of it was true, he said. Gene Shepard said all of the stories he told on the radio and in his books, which are also very good, I would add. He says we live in a, a culture that doesn't read. That's why he doesn't write, books anymore. That's what he was saying. He's old. He did it. He played on Carnegie Hall. He wrote books. We're not in a reading culture, so he doesn't want to put time and effort into making a book because it's not worth it. He'd rather try to make a movie. Gene Shepard really wanted, and to be honest, I don't know. There's some. Look how far that fucking Christmas Story movie is carried, and that's the only reason. No offense, but like that's if Gene Shepard is famous still, that's why. Like everybody knows the fucking Christmas Story, and it's all fake. He says that he made it all up. He did not know any of those kids. They were fictional characters. He made up the names. He's like, I was not writing autobiography, he said. It was not like a reminiscence, which I think is very much how people perceived it. I thought he was just telling. I thought he was like Kerouac of the radio, basically, where it's like I'm going to tell stories from my life, and he's also sort of a social commentator about whatever is going on. And maybe he's just an ornery old bastard and he's lying. There did seem to be some of that. But I think it was a shock to the people that were calling in. It's better that most people don't know that. But I was looking at Gene Shepard as sort of like an autofiction, oral composer, on the airwaves, sort of like a podcaster, a progenitor of that. But according to him, he was just a stand-up comic who made up all these fucking stories. Which I also think that's interesting. I don't think that's actually like a deal breaker. In fact, maybe that's more interesting. Maybe that is something I could experiment with on this, is just make shit up. I don't know, the whole fucking time. God, is it crazy to do this on the internet when nobody's watching? Just talk for hours with the stupid internet and no one is watching or listening or anything. Is this a waste of time? Maybe I should make a movie like Gene Shepard. Um, he said that in order to make it work, you have to like act. Like he's an actor. That was another thing. Is like he started out as an actor and a stand-up comic and all this, and like so he thought of it like on the radio, he was sort of like playing a part of the storyteller who lived that stuff. He was writing from like a character in a way. Uh, He was writing like as an actor in a performance. It wasn't just like shit that had actually happened to him. He's just like telling the story, which I think is how most people probably perceive of it, actually. And so I thought that was kind of, I don't know, not that it's necessarily going to have any effect on what I do. I like, there's so many stories from life that is part of the point of it for me, is just to kind of like tell those. Whether Gene Shepard did that or not, but uh, it was interesting to learn that. I'm watching Shotgun Saturday Night here, which I think is a WWF show that they shot in a bar, like in Times Square or something. Let me see what else I got here for. Yeah, and so I don't know. I mean, once again, this is one reason why I devoted after being an actor who auditioned for TV commercials and being in a few movies. Uh, it seemed to me to be more, movies kind of put people to sleep. Images kind of put people to sleep. It's an automated thing. It's a tranquilizing thing. I didn't really want to contribute to that. I thought poetry was this thing that sort of helped people wake up. It helped me wake up. It helps you um, define reality, define your experience, discover new things about your experience. At least that was my thinking at the time. Now, having been through my experience of poetry, I do think that's true, but it's also just like the poetry world has a lot of, you know, just safe, kind of unnecessary parts that, like, I don't know, I don't really feel like I need to be involved with. I think to me, it's more important now to do things like according to how I believe, whatever other people think. And so that's why I do this. This is a way of turning an image into, a wall of text, a rumination, a more interior kind of experience than what is typically in content. Content is typically, I mean, it's descriptive of the world. It's trying to like explain what's going on, but it's not. I don't know. It's not that honest or something. Most content is not actually like revealing or personal per se. At least not the stuff that is watched or popular. Am I wrong about that? I mean, things like Joe Rogan, I mean, it's not really that personal. Like Rogan doesn't really talk about himself that much. We don't know that much about. I mean, he does, but it's not that vulnerable or anything. Should I make a turkey burger? I made the mistake of buying a bag of Reese cups yesterday, and so I'm kind of trying to avoid eating those. Is this sad and pathetic? I'm 40 years old. I'm about to be 41. it gets, you get older. You just keep getting older. It's insane. I thought 40 was kind of good enough, but 41, here we come. So, I am, like Christmas Story, okay? Is the world a better place because Gene Shepard put his effort into this movie? Like, I do think it's a good way to receive in like a brevity capsule that sort of suits our modern hyper uh marketplace of content. Like Gene Shepard, The Christmas Story, you get a compendium of like at least the narratives from his like short stories that he published in books, which are dramatized in like a good movie. It's funny, it looks good, it's really held up in a way, despite all the changes our country's been through. And you also get his narration. So you sort of get a sense of what his radio show was like, where it's like you're getting Gene Shepard telling you the story. You hear his voice, which is very unique and kind of important, I think, for the material in a way, actually. The sound of Gene Shepard's voice is like, I don't know, part of the character. He typifies an attitude in an archetype, I think, from that era. 40s, 50s, kind of smart acre. He's from Indiana, Chicago area. I think he was in the Army. He's got a little bit of that. He kind of sounds like he was in the Army. Oh my God, is that Jake the Snake? Yeah, this is like 96. It's Rock versus Triple H. Early match. And it's in a fucking nightclub, looks like it's in fucking Urban Cowboy. And Jake the Snake just ran in with his snake. That's pretty nuts. Shotgun Saturday. This is a pretty dope show, actually. I heard this was good. This is like site-specific theater. It's not in an arena. This is just clip farming, all right? I'm just fishing. We're just playing riffs like Jerry. I watched Bob Weir funeral service. Did people watch that today? Bob Weir, it was streamed live on Nugsnet. God bless Nugsnet. I love Nugsnet. I love goddamn YouTube. I'm sorry. My life has just become a panopticon of YouTube screens. And they fucking live streamed the Bob's Weir. They did like a ceremony in San Francisco with his wife and John Mayer. Mickey Hart was there. A lot of people. Gavin Newsom. Wavy Gravy was. I saw a picture. Wavy Gravy was there. And who else? Who was the other? Pelosi. They had the lineup at the end. They're all singing Ripple, and they pan over, and there's Nancy Pelosi. Like, that is awesome. Fuck yeah, Pelosi. Pelosi at the Bob Weir. Bob Weir Day. John Mayer played Ripple, and I think they did something else. I can't remember what other song. Maybe it was just Ripple. Bob Weir. I mean, could you imagine? Okay. So, like, somebody like Bob Weir, like, look at the life the guy has lived. Like, I mean, he's been all over the fucking world many times, played in front of millions of goddamn people, sold shitloads of records. He's probably never had to fucking really do anything he didn't want to do for 60 goddamn years. He's had everything he could ever want many times over. And, he's met famous people, jammed with famous people. He's famous. His ego is very, like, well fed. And all of these type of people, not just him. I'm not just picking on Bob Weir, but like, um, you know, most people don't live lives like that. It seems like most people are. I don't know. This is like maybe this is just something I can't get over, like psychologically, but like it's like a guilt thing. It's like how can you be greedy for that kind of experience for yourself? And why do you deserve that when so many people are struggling, frustrated, they don't get to do anything they want to do. They don't ever, their horizons don't expand. Their lives are not fabulous. Their lives are not adventurous. They just work. They don't travel. They don't get to, they're incels. They eat bad food. They don't ever step foot in like a nice restaurant. I mean, I feel like I grew up around people like that, people that are roofers and shit. They go on, most of the people in my hometown went to fucking Myrtle Beach for vacation. Everybody had like that, whatever that fucking taffy place was, something salty dog taffy or something. Every single person in my school had that shirt. I'm trying to get this to fucking stand. Let's see if we can get that motherfucker to balance for a second. I'm gonna try to cook a turkey burger for everybody. How does that sound? You want to do some cooking show with Porter Brooks? You probably can't understand a thing I said. You want to do some cooking show with Porter Brooks? We're gonna cook, everybody. I'm gonna show you how to prepare a Trader Joe's turkey burger a la Proctor. Okay. All you're gonna need is there's no olive oil. Fuck, I don't think there's any olive oil. Damn it. Red. Can I use vinegar? Does that work? Okay. Here's some kind of fucking vegetable oil. I'm fine with that. I don't need I'm not picky. I'll use any kind of goddamn oil. Vegetable oil is fine. And so what you're going to need is you just get a pan like this. A saucepan is good. You want to make sure you cover it because the grease is going to fly everywhere, everybody. Get ready. The grease is going to fly, everybody. Get ready. That's just my style. You know me. I'm just live wire. Ooh, how old is this? Does this shit go bad? Does vegetable oil go bad? Okay, let's see. 4/4/26. So it's still good. It's kind of a gnarly ass. Let's try it. I guess we'll find out. I mean, it's just the oil. How fucking how bad can it be? I got food poisoning on Monday. I had a drink in the bar upstairs that had some kind of funky ass yellow syrup in it that I did not ask for, by the way. I just asked for a vodka with water in it. And I got some kind of funky fucking and I threw up for like the first half of Tuesday. So that's a nice way to start the cooking show, don't you think? Oops. Keep knocking this fucking microphone around. That probably sounds like shit to everybody, doesn't it? Can you hear me now? Am I being heard? Let me reposition it again. Or should I just hold it? Okay, so what we're doing is we're braising the turkey burger now. We're grilling it here. You just want to turn that motherfucker, that burner on. And, you probably want to heat up the oil a little bit, but we don't really have time for that right now. I just kind of want to get right in. Oh, I love this light. This is my favorite light in the entire house right here. Let me turn this one on because I love this light. This reminds me of the apartment I grew up in. It's kind of, I don't know. They still make these lights. These kind of warm, eggy yellow lights. This reminds me of childhood. Let's try that, I guess. That's too high. Look how fuzzy that thing is. Nice. Of course, you can't rotate the fucking clamp. You just kind of put it there. All right, we'll see how that sounds. All right, what the hell was I talking shit about? Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. With famous people, with legendary people, there's some sense that, like, they're better than us. They're celebrities. They get to have these lives of, traveling the world, meeting kings and queens, playing to thousands of people, having their artwork celebrated. I guess, a lot of people want that. Is there nothing wrong with wanting that? But, most people, I would think, don't really live lives comparable to that. Or I don't know. It's a characteristic of where I come from to like resent. Like, okay, Ashley was just in this fucking writing residency in France. It's like in the south of France, in some beautiful house. There's a fucking pool, and it's all these women from like South Africa. These like middle-aged white women, and they're like working on their books. They're like writing these books, and it's like it's all just kind of vanity. They have money from something. I don't know, their husbands or they saved up. I think this one woman had made like TV commercials or something. She worked in that business. And those kind of people just make me sick. Well, I don't know. It's just like I didn't grow up around that many people that conducted a lifestyle like that. Like, oh, I'm gonna fly, living in Columbus, Ohio, it'd be like, oh, I'm gonna fly to I don't even know, fucking, you know, Marfa or whatever for a residency or uh it was not necessarily like this place of international travel. It was more like a working class. I mean, it was a mix. There were more affluent people that, like my first girlfriend in high school, her parents had taken her to Europe on like a family vacation, I think a few times maybe. Her dad had a good job. Her mom went to Harvard Law School. They were up the hill. And then my second girlfriend, her dad was a lawyer. He was doing very well. I think they were really into Rick Steves Europe. They had all of Rick Steves like fucking travel guides and shit. So I think they had gone on family vacations to Europe. Not that many people in my family ever went to Europe, unless they were in the fucking army. I think my grandpa went to Europe when he was in the army. He had been to Paris. I think he'd been stationed in Germany, maybe, or am I imagining that? But, America, international travel is not always like this encouraged. I think we're xenophobic, we're agoraphobic nationally. Maybe I should do some karaoke. I got 150 views in the karaoke, so maybe we'll do some fucking. I did want to play guitar a little bit. Maybe after I make my turkey burger here. All right, so we're gonna flip the burger. You know, you don't want to burn it too much on one side. You want to try to keep it. You know, you got to get that. You got to get that center nice and cooked. You don't want that ice from the freezer to stay in the center of that turkey burger. So you want to really, you know, you got to this. It takes about the same time it'd probably take to microwave something. You can cook a turkey burger in probably 7 to 8 minutes if you do it right, but it's not an instant. It's not. You're not going to get it done in 2 minutes or something, and you don't want to spend too long on it either. It doesn't. You know, it's not like chicken. You're probably not going to get salmonella. Knock on wood. Turkey, I think, is a little more. I could be wrong, but I think it's a little more stable or something. You want to cook it so it's all the way through. It's not bleeding or anything, but you know, I don't overdo it per se. And then you got to get the grease off of it because it comes out real greasy. All that vegetable oil and shit, and all the ice melts. You know, like the water breaks on the turkey burger, so the ice melts and kind of like I did have kind of an embarrassing episode. See, this is an example. Well, I feel embarrassed. I shouldn't even talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. It's too embarrassing. All right, should I flip it again? Yeah, I like to press it a little bit to get some of that grease and liquid to kind of just like pump it out, push it out. Smelling nice. You smell that processed meat. It's almost like a fucking sausage or something, sausage patty. Oh, this is not good. I'm getting stung by all the grease. I'm sure it's getting all over my fucking clothes. Can you hear me? It sounds like shit. I don't know. My man Adam S. probably out there. I mean, it's Saturday night, but people are staying in. What are you? No one's doing anything. Are you people out? What the hell's wrong with you? I guess people are out. Me, I'm just living a middle-aged. I saw this tweet about something about you retire. When you retire, you move uptown. You know you're old. You know you've reached middle-aged when you prefer living uptown. When you prefer the Upper West Side, that's when you know you're middle-aged. I think there's possibly some truth to that. I mean, you know, I would definitely love to live downtown for sure, but like that park, I mean, you can't, I will admit, like, I don't necessarily, the Upper West Side is awesome and very unique, and I do love it, but like, there's also things about it, like, it is just grid plan, and I don't know, it's kind of, there's not a whole lot of youth. Okay. They're back. What? Okay, well. How was your thing? That's my microphone. Clip farming. Ashley loves it when I say clip farming. See, it's little moments like that I think could be magic for clip farming because they're so real. You can't script that kind of thing. You know, you can't fake that. You can't buy that kind of realism. All right, so we're all done here. How long was that? Can we time that out? I mean, that's one thing I've noticed with iShow Speed is he just in order to take pictures of people, he'll just do this to his streaming camera, and then they can just freeze frame it later. It's like you can't really make any more content than to stream all the time. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of the most content you can possibly make. Because it's literally just like you're constantly, if somebody's watching you, then it's like that means, oh shit, my fucking tripod is being held up by this grinder. But once people get on this 2, 3, 4 screen lifestyle like me, then it's like they can watch your live stream and your clips that are being clipped out by your team at the same time while they're listening to your music, while they're, I'll just eat this right here. Yeah, pretty good, huh? What? Okay. I need more fiber. It's my goal for 26 to eat more fiber. My diet has been lacking fiber.
So I might have to get
I think we got some good clips today. A good day down in the clip farm. Grandpa would be proud. Hard day on the farm. Down on the clip farm. Bob Evans. Maybe I can clip that thing about Bob Weir. Thing about, let me put this over here so I'm not watching this. This all can be live. See, there we go. Quick snack, healthy, lean. Protein. Good meat. Not bad for your body. You're doing what? Hold on. Let me get my stuff.
discuss that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I really wanted, like, you know, like, you're hanging out with the guy, like, catch up with friends, and we're gonna have, like, a, you know, a big laugh or something to, like, cheer you up, and I don't know.
Okay, okay.
Just gonna hesitate on like answers. Just say what you want.
Just say whatever the fuck pops into your mind.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's down. What's the word? Yeah, yeah. But that means like sad. Yeah, it's all very sad. But I feel like if it was just an elephant, it would really be
Laugh, 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 laugh. I'm looking for laugh, laugh, laugh.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home and like figure chili bologna. Because at least bologna. It was okay. I had an omelet. I had an omelet.
You had an omelet, what kind?
I had an omelet. Oh,
Huh?
it was okay. I just know like that I had peppers, but like there wasn't an option for like a ham and cheese with onions omelet, so I was just like, okay, like I do want onions in my omelet, so I like the Western omelet. My friend got a veggie burger, but I was like, I don't know, that's chill, but I feel like the concept of the diner is like getting they love you. You want pregnant with me, like when it comes to shipping. Dude, if I see another one of these, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Somebody left her diner. Like 2 weeks ago. They just like pop out of nowhere, and I'm like, how many are there, and why are they everywhere? Well, it was weird because there's a question that's like, oh, like who is your like fictional hero, or who's your hero in fiction, or whatever, and then Natalie was like, my coworker, she was like, oh, like, what if like the characters that you read like aren't necessarily good people? I'm like, well, it's up to you. Like, I don't know why you're like asking me. Also, it's like not a moral thing. Like, I'm like, this isn't a moral test. Like, I don't know what you mean. Like, I don't know. So I feel like some people are just like reading too much into it. Where I'm like, just say what's on your mind. Like, I don't know. And then she was like, oh, maybe like Sal from On the Road. And then I'm like, oh, like you mean like Neil Cassidy? So it's like,
That was Self Paradise. Jack Phillips.
okay, well, I don't.
Cassie's Dean Moyer.
The thing is, I don't fucking know because I read the original scroll, so I was like, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but then this is what I said, so I was like, oh, do you mean Neil Cassidy? She said, yeah, so clearly she doesn't know. It was kind of a trick question, because like, bitch, like, I read the original scroll, like, I don't know.
Bitch, I read it.
I was like, I don't fucking know, really. I just know there's like a Sal to my Dean.
Right.
Yeah.
She's always got a fucking. See, that's euchre. That's euchre. What you just did. That's what we call having the Trump
But
card.
I think I tripped her up because I was like, "Oh, you mean like Neil Cassidy?" And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, "But no, I said yeah." But she said that, and then I think it was like the top 3 favorite writers, and I think she only had like 2 answers at first. I think it was like, who were they? I don't even remember. Oh, she said James Baldwin, which I'm like, I like James Baldwin, so like sure. And then the second one was like, what was the second one? I don't even remember what she said. It's the second one anyway. It probably didn't make that much of an impression. I think it was like, oh yeah, she hesitated for so long, and then she said Jack Kerouac.
Nice.
I was like, man. But I think her like, what did she say? Patti Smith is her hero? I don't know. Like, who's your hero in real life? Patti Smith. Then I was like, I don't like Patti Smith, but I like her.
Not your hero.
No, she wasn't really my hero when I like liked her. Like I think I just like I really liked it. Right. But I wasn't like, oh, she's not my hero. Like my hero is like Jim Jarmusch.
Okay. Actually, his hero is Jim Jarmusch, not Patti Smith. Did you hear that?
No. Yeah. Dude, this one's spicy.
Oh yeah, those things. I used to use those. What is it? It's like a.
But it was interesting because I feel like, yeah, even despite the previous question, I don't feel close to it. So.
That's the whole point of the thing.
I know, to feel closer to them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny because she was like, one of the things was like, what's one book was on her nightstand that you think you'll never read? And she said Ham on Rye by Bukowski. I had read it before. Like, I think it's fine.
It's fine.
But I think it was like, oh, what's like one poem that makes her like spine tingle or something? And she said like, oh, probably apart from Dante's Inferno. I was like, okay. Interesting. Oh wait, here's a question for you. If you could only eat one item, like one specific food item or like food meal or whatever, like what would it be? Yeah, it was like a meal, but you have to eat it every day, or like that's the only thing you could eat. What would it be? Oh wait, here's a question for you. If you could only eat.
If I could eat one meal, a meal is a well, every day forever.
Yeah. You can't have a
Thanksgiving food.
No. Okay, yeah.
Turkey,
like
cranberry sauce.
No, people try to cop out and be like pasta. I'm like, no, but it has to be like very specific. Like,
definitely, no doubt about it. Thanksgiving food, absolutely. I'd be happy. I'd be totally fine with that. Every day we should eat Thanksgiving food. Actually, I don't know why we don't.
Yeah, I don't really think I'd want to eat turkey every day.
Put gravy all over it, and then you have all this other shit too.
I'd rather eat ham than
Ham is bad for you. Ham is fatty red meat. It'll kill you. Turkey is lean, white. It's not. You put salt and pepper all over it and gravy. Well, not me. I want Thanksgiving every day for the rest of my life. In fact, you've inspired me.
Okay.
It's gonna be my new diet.
I don't know. What were the other questions? It's just like weird because there are 30 questions, but sometimes if you do it too fast, like you really do not remember any of these people's answers. So I'm like, maybe I should just record it like coughing cigarettes and just like record this conversation because they're kind of funny, but like then it's kind of over. You don't remember any of it, and you're like kind of like blacked out. I guess.
You're blacked out.
I know. I'm like, you need to put a tripod and like film this. You're like coughing cigarettes. I just need to film.
Don't put that. You're gonna get all my stuff.
I need to film my conversations with friends because it's really bad. I like do not remember what people say anymore. It's like kind of bad. Okay. Like I really don't remember anything about tonight, and I didn't even drink. I just drank coffee. All I drink is coffee. I just remember fucking that toast though. Oh, and one of the questions was like, what is your favorite journey? We were kind of vague, but like mine was like, I really like this like girl with the transfer journey. She like, I don't know, her story, but she like basically like it's her last hour in Vegas, and she like accidentally left her laptop like at a restaurant, and they had to go back and get it, and then they ordered the Uber to the wrong spot, so they had to like walk through the labyrinth of Planet Hollywood to get to the Uber. And then when they were finally about to reach the airport, they get to the Uber to the airport, and they realized her phone was still charging at the Venetian Hotel. Sort of.
Room 4.
Yeah, like it's still on the floor at the hotel, so they have to like leave the freeway to like go back. Decided to on my friend's floor. I decided to make a list of everything I need to get done and go out and do it. No matter what, I'm getting all these things done. And like that's like kind of the way to live though. Like just like you just gotta plan out your life in the morning, like sitting down on a piece of paper and do it no matter what the journey is.
What?
Is
that what you do?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, that's what I'm gonna do, like, cause like I have a bunch of shit to do. I have to go to REI to get like tape for my puffer jacket. So I'm just like one day I'm just gonna sit on the floor and make a list, and I have to like go through all these steps no matter what.
Not your puffer jacket?
Well, I have to get tape for my puffer jacket. I have to get envelopes. I have to buy zebra pens. Like,
You have
there's a
that on
lot.
a list.
I'm gonna write a list. We'll sit on the floor, and then I'll do it no matter what, and see where it takes me. I have to do all of the steps.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's just up to me what the steps are. But it's up to me.
So you have a to-do list, is what you're saying.
But it's like fancy. It's just more interesting.
But it's better than that. It's more interesting than that.
It's better. It's like chaotic. It's more chaotic. It's not just like I'm doing these chores. It's more like It's more like sometimes you're just like, there are things that need, or like you add stuff that you also just want to do, like, oh, have a martini by yourself. So, like it's just like you add random stuff to make it fun along the way. It's
really?
Like, yeah. So I kind of want to live like that. Like I like it. And I also like Max's. My friend Max's like resolution. I was like to never feel rushed for anything this year. And I kind of just like that. Like I'm just like I'm vibing and I'm not rushed anything. Because I feel like the worst feeling is to feel like you don't have time to do something. And then it's like, I never want to feel that way again.
You don't have time to do something?
No, like sometimes you just feel rushed, like you don't have enough time to fully sit with something. Oh, but I never want to feel that way again. Like, I want to feel like I have all the time in the world. Just a lot of things to think about. But I do like this girl Vivian's idea about sitting on the floor and figuring that out in the morning. Like I think it's fun.
Good idea. You're a master of manifesting what you want. So. Well, yeah, never worked for me. I write shit down. I've done visualization. It never works. Ever.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it's like everyone in the superpower question. Like I don't like hypotheticals. Like I do not think I'd want a superpower because I feel like I already have like I feel like I can pick up vibes already. Like I don't like I feel like I don't know certain things like I have an intuition. So I'm like I feel like that is already a superpower because some people lack intuition. I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to read people's thoughts. Like, fuck that. Like, I don't know. I feel like I already have intuition. So I'm like,
yeah, you definitely have very strong intuition.
Yeah. Like being invisible and shit. Like, I'm like, I don't know. That's like so hypothetical. That's like not interesting.
Being invisible.
Well, like picking a superpower. Like it's just so like hypothetical. I'm like, really.
Is that on the first questionnaire?
Yeah.
Which superpower would you like to have? That's not on there.
It's on the Shakespeare Company version.
He was born before all that.
No, I know, but it's on the Shakespeare Company.
There were no
version.
superpowers in
It's
the
on the Shakespeare Company version. Okay.
Well, did they have the equivalent of superpowers in the 1890s or 1810s? I don't think so. So, that's where that.
Okay. Yeah.
See, this is good content, Ashley. I'm gonna clip farm while I'm live. I'm gonna clip farm on my other phone from the stream.
Yeah, but I was just
and
like,
post it while I'm
I
live.
was like, okay, like that's, yeah, no, it was just like weird.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know how good this mic is for like long distance. That's the internet?
I like how it's like name dropping there all the time, but I did see the exhibition at Rome, so like I feel like I have a warrant talking about.
What's the whole point?
One item. I like how it's like dropping there all the time. But I did see the exhibition at Rome, so like yeah, it's in the moment. What's the whole point? One item. Remember I wanted to do a quiz question about and now
Oh, surprise, surprise.
well, I think we'd be kind of laughing about it. Like, I don't know. Or, like, I think it's kind of fun to do, like, depending on your mood. I think sometimes it should.
Oh, I should turn this thing off. I'll go off. I think it's gonna sound better without the microphone.
Probably.
To be honest. The mic's good for like talking into, but
it's like when people are like, "Oh, who's your fictional hero?" Like I was like, Holden Caulfield.
The mic's good for like. See, that's what.
Yeah. I was like Holden Caulfield forever.
Unfortunately.
For better or for worse. Like, I like Henry Miller as an idea, but I actually have never, or like, I don't think it's like the right period in my life to read him. Like, I feel like I just never felt like instantly connected, but also like, I feel like I couldn't get into Bologna until today, you know? So I feel like certain books just come at me at the right time.
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
Yeah, so I feel like Henry Miller, like, eventually will, like, kind of open up to me, but yeah, it's not right now. But yeah, I do want to read, like, Tropic of Cancer, I think. Or, like, that's the Parisian one? Is it? Which one's the Parisian one?
One of those.
Yeah.
Tropic of Cancer, I think.
Yeah, because I feel like it just didn't open up to me, but right now, Bologna is really speaking to me. Like, fucking love Maria.
Yeah, right.
She's
certain
a
things
Leo,
come to you,
and
right?
Juan, wait, what's his name? Juan Gabriel, no, yeah. I can forget his name, it's just so cute of a name. Juan Garcia Madera. He's a Capricorn, so I feel like Capricorn moon and Maria's sun.
Okay.
I take, this is why I don't read novels, I take literary characters way too seriously. I think that's like it should be like a new DSM-5 thing, like taking literary characters very seriously.
We're gonna clip all this out. It's gonna be an interview with authors. Ashley Escobar. She takes characters very seriously. Well, good. Okay, good.
I'm like, there's so many questions on that list. I'm like trying to think of my coworkers' answers.
So many what?
I'm trying to think of our answers, but they weren't very profound, I think. Level-headed, I think. Like, I think I just want, like, glib answers, you know?
Glib. Glib, glib,
it's like
glib.
there's that one question that's like, on what occasion do you lie? And they both took it very seriously, and she was like, oh, like, I lie, like, to protect someone's feelings or whatever. I'm like, for me, like, I haven't lied since 2019.
I actually will lie about breakfast.
What?
She'll lie about any damn thing.
I won't.
She's constantly lying. Everything is a lie.
I'm literally not.
If there's not a lie in it, she doesn't want to do it.
No, I'm not.
It's not good enough. There has to be a little bit of a lie in there.
No.
Yep.
It's called withholding information.
Yes, exactly. There has to be a distance between what's really going on back here in the public face and the amount of information you give people.
That's the thing. There's a difference between lying and withholding information.
That sounds like something Trump would say, or somebody before a Senate subcommittee.
Well, there is a difference. And there might be a Venn diagram, but I don't know.
You're not on the stand, okay? You don't have to throw legalese at me.
Oh, I don't know.
There's a difference between lying and withholding information.
Mm-hmm. I would know, because I don't
do
lie.
both.
No, I don't.
I mean, that's something that Tom Stoppard said was like, as an author of narrative, whether it's theater he was talking about, it's like basically you decide when people get the information.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like for me, when I'm talking to random people, I feel like it's never a good time to like tell them anything. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's unnecessary sometimes. Well, I just feel like, because it's like, unless I'm going to become really close to you, like, I feel like I don't need to tell you any of this, I think. Because it's just unnecessary. Or, like, I just have too much backstories that require a lot of, like, backstory.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is this person really worth telling this to?
I see.
Because, like, if they're not, like, because, like, Penelope, like, I can just joke about something and she'd instantly get it because she knows all these stories.
Right.
But it's like, am I really going to sit down and, like, tell you this, like, 20-minute story just to get to this? Probably not. Because it's more satisfying with the story. Like, duck rabbits, for example. Like, it's funnier if you know the whole story.
But not everybody gets the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like unnecessary.
What is the whole story?
Well, I guess like it's layers. It's like Bennington, but then like you also would have to know the Bennington lore in a way too. Like, I don't know. Like, if you don't know what Bennington is, like, it's like another conversation you have to have. I think there are a lot of conversations, and all traces back to high school, and just like a lot, you know.
Oh,
then you'd have to go into like the high school theatrics, and at that point, it's like I'm telling you my whole life story, but like why? You know, I don't know. That's what I mean. I'm kind of curious about like when in Penelope and I's like friendship, do we just like cut all the bullshit and get straight to like the dramatics or the theatrics? I don't know.
When?
The drama of it all. I don't know. Because I'm like thinking about like the early days of our friendship, and I'm like, but low-key, I feel like I instantly told her like really dramatic stuff, I think. Like, we kind of bonded really easily.
Okay.
I think I just like went to brunch with her, and like I remember we were like at an Indian restaurant. I remember next to these British guys, they heard my whole story, and I was like, well, I'm sorry you had to hear about this, but like whatever.
You heard your whole story.
They did. Penelope was like, dude, those guys like heard all of this, and I was like, I don't really care. They're just like British tourists, like I don't really give a fuck. But Oh, the Penelope of it all. Well, yeah, because like I feel like sometimes I just don't do a good job of explaining things. So I was like trying to explain who Dylan Wallamander was, and I was like, that's a very hard story to crack open because it requires a lot of exposition, and it also requires like surfing is cool from Reddit. Like it just like there are too many layers into the story. But like with the missing, and there's a girl named Sarah Lore who's also involved with this. Like I don't know, there's just too many layers of people. It's like a spreadsheet of people to invoke into this.
A spreadsheet.
Well, not a spreadsheet, but you know, it's like the cops use like the string and the photos. Like it would be like that.
What's that?
You know, like when they have like a evidence board.
Rap sheet.
And it's like an evidence board, and they like bring it out, and it's like how everyone's connected with string.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Like I'd have to like make one of that. I mean, that's literally why I made that map once, but I should update that map. But it's kind of a pain to like get up in the wall. See, that's a good thing to put on my list. Like I need to put the map back on my wall, you know?
Yeah.
Because I could been kind of avoiding that for like 3 years.
The map.
Well, because it's hard to take up. It's hard to take up.
3 years.
3 years. See, this is what I mean. Like, I think I'm just putting off certain things that are very arbitrary. Like, I bet putting the map up would take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I need to put it on my list.
Right. Oh.
And then I will get to it. But the list is kind of crazy.
It has to be on the list first.
You kind of have to put, like, you can put anything on the list, which is, like, the crazy part. Like, I could put, like, you know what, like, I'm going to, I don't know. I'm finally going to go to Central Casting or something, you know, like. I do need to get on that. That is one thing I said. But in order to do that, I do need to take photos of myself in different outfits. Maybe when Kai's here, I'll ask her, like, to take photos of me. Because they want, like, photos of you in, like, random different outfits. Well, Central Casting, to send an application. They, like, want just casual photos of you in different personas or something. But I need to figure my hat size. I need to measure myself. Stuff like that. Just, like, stupid stuff like that. Like, tedious stuff. But that is on the to-do list. I've read 3 books so far this year. My goal is 45 books. The movie, I don't think I really have like a movie goal. I don't really care about that, but I do watch a lot of movies, but whatever. And then the belly goal is like 50 new restaurants, but I don't really care about that either, honestly. I'll see.
50 new restaurants.
Yeah, but honestly, I kind of, I mean, not cheated, but like there's some places that like I've been to that I forgot to like mark. Like I put in autos and I realized I had never like marked it before.
A restaurant.
I know, but I think just like 50 new spots, but I don't know. Could be wrong. Who knows? I don't know. I think just 50 new spots. But I went to 278 places last year, but I also, to be fair, did mark a lot of random places last year, I think. Like places I went to before, but I don't know, we'll see. I'm so scared to drink this. It's just very spicy. And I'm also debating if I want to go to Chariots for lunch. I mean, I probably should maybe make an appearance. changes person, but I don't know. Apparently Rachel Rabbit White wrote their introduction. I would pull through just for the theatrics, maybe that.
Okay.
But I'll be gone that weekend. I don't know. I'll see.
This is Mumblecore, Ashley. It's like your heroes in Chicago.
Oh, it is. It's very spicy.
What's in it?
Cayenne pepper. That's probably cayenne pepper and turmeric are probably the thing, and ginger. Orange and lemon, but the other things are probably what make it very spicy.
Very spicy.
Oh, I forgot. I was gonna. God, not to be crazy, but I think I am like pulling the insane card by being like, yeah, like my favorite Bologna, because it's also the only Bologna I read, is Antwerp. I think it's kind of quirky. It's kind of funny.
I thought Ashley had originality. She's
do.
just another Brooklyn idiot.
I'm not. I've read Antwerp. I don't think most people have read Antwerp.
You're just another Brooklyn art school idiot.
I'm not. Look, I have a personal relationship with reading Latin American literature.
Stop saying Latin American literature, okay?
Well, I do. I love Julio Cortázar. And I just still just can't believe that person who shall not be named studied Latin American literature at Bard College.
See, that's why you keep using that term, because somebody studied it in college. It sounds like a college term. It sounds like a course or a subject. That's why you're reading all this stuff.
It's not. I read Julio Cortázar a lot.
I believe you. Doesn't matter. That's why you're trying to glorify your fucking connection to it or whatever.
I'm not trying to glorify.
Yeah, you are.
I literally.
I have this connection to Latin American literature.
I talk about Julio Cortázar 7 years ago,
So fucking what? That's one person.
Well, I like a lot of other people too.
Like who?
Clarice Lispector. I really like Pedro Páramo, but I don't like magical realism, so that's I like that book. It's like my father's ghost walked in the rain or whatever the fuck.
I need more food. Nothing to eat. It's gonna snow all day tomorrow.
That's nice. That's kind of cute. I would love to walk in the snow. I might go out. I don't know. wish I know them. That is like my favorite bedtime story.
I thought you were gonna take a shower.
I might.
You should go do that.
1930s Germany, honey. See that compared.
I'm just relaxing right now.
It's fucked up anyway.
Thinking about In the Name of God.
Harrison.
I was gonna send my coworker a poem. Dude, that's so fucked up. Okay, she better. Oh, some people really just bounce back into your life randomly. That's okay. Okay, let me find this. Something about like it's like rocker. Just such a good poem. Ugh, Dylan Ollivander. That was such a good line. Okay. This is Dylan's poem.
That's white people cost.
Yo, look at this.
It's a really good poem. The ducks. Ducks.
What even are those? Or it's like UCLA. Okay. Oh, what even are Bruins? What are the name of so many random sports teams? Interesting. Ugh, let me try to go hard. Whoa. Eat pancakes. To drink this. I know, I'm so crazy. About top 3.
Nice.
What?
Good answer.
Kind of insane.
I didn't mention Welbeck.
I don't know, that shit cracks me up. I don't know. It's like weird. To be honest. Did the game already end?
The game.
Today, let's see. Fuck. Okay. Oh, hell no, we're losing.
What the hell are you talking about?
49ers, Seahawks.
Since when do you care?
I don't. I just like, I do have like a weird pride about the 49ers. You know, so just like, whatever.
A weird pride.
But we're gonna say hedges at Applebee's watching the game. I was like, damn.
In Times Square?
No, I think there's one in the Bronx. This is the one near Brooklyn College, right? The Ducks? Who the fuck are the... Oh. Bitch, I don't care about hockey. Like Ducks. It's 11. Bro, of course she was there. Is it really that hot in San Francisco? What painting? Bro, it was 65. Not everyone on the bus with the red roses for Bob Weir. I need to find my skirt. That is one thing. Everyone on the bus has red roses for Bob Weir. And they're all wearing cowboy boots with long skirts. Kind of cute. Long skirt.
Okay, I might go get some more food. This has just been kind of an experiment. And it will continue. That's about it. I'm going to clip farm from this, so look for some highlights tomorrow, maybe soon. Oh, now there's 3 people watching. I'll leave it on for a second. I'll leave it on for a dang old second.
I tried out a lot of it, a little scary. No, because I will use it to become rare, but I need like supervision. What if I fall?
You want to reach up there.
No, I need supervision. What? You didn't even go on it.
Watching Royal Rumble, I think 1998, maybe 7. WrestleMania 14.
What do you say to the people that say Hollywood is dead? It's too expensive to make movies out here. Sadly, there's some truth to that part of this.
I have been dreaming and fantasizing and in love with Furio. Every morning when he'd come to pick you up, I would look forward to it all night long in bed next to you. Those nights that you were actually in the pit. And he'd ring the doorbell and I felt like my heart would come out of my chest. He'd smile and he'd talk and then you come down the stairs. I felt like someone filled in front of me.
Whoa.
What now?
11/11 with a wish.
Still kind of early-ish.
You're so nice.
Yeah.
Can you get food?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Why?
Nothing. I want to take a shower.
Okay, good.
I'm just tired after the shower.
Who knows? You're always temperamental.
Well, I'm very tired. My head hurts actually. to only drink coffee at dinner.
You're tired now? From what?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, it's up to you. It's entirely your decision.
On the ears.
What?
I mean, my envelopes down. It's my good. Oh, reading my mouth still hurts. I'm eating hot pizza. It still hurts.
I'm waiting for this Royal Rumble to end. I'm gonna go get a sandwich, but I'm waiting for this Royal Rumble to end. It's the 98. It's a pretty good one. Mick Foley comes in 3 times. Vader's in there. Farouk. I think Austin wins. Mark Henry. The Rock. So you got a lot of Nation of Domination. You got Chains. Oh shit, The Rock just put Farouk out. He turned into his own guy. Well, that was pretty, they had The Rock, Stone Cold, Dude Love, all in the top 4 guys. That was pretty smart of them. All right. So that's enough. Thank you guys for watching. Who knows? Maybe I'll be back on later. We're gonna just stream every goddamn thing.